Seopw, thanks for coming back. Boy, it's been a crazy couple of weeks here on the report, and I suspect that the next couple of weeks are going to be as crazy, if not crazier. But today, I want to do a little video about Clarence Woods. Clarence Woods is the executive director of the Southeast Overtown Park West CRA. Clarence Woods makes over $100,000 a year in that job, and he has been screwing the pooch since the day he walked in the door. Clarence Woods is another one of these folks that doesn't give a shit about public money. As far as he's concerned, when that money goes out the door, that's the end of it. He don't care whether it's spent right, whether it's spent wrong, whether it's spent at all. Because he never bothers to go find out what happened to the money. You know, Clarence Woods has been screwing the pooch over there in Overtown for a long time, and a lot of folks just didn't understand that. So I'm doing this little video to talk about the movie that they made here at the beginning of the year, which I wrote that big series of stories that you can find down below. You know, I've been trying to get an audit report for where that money was spent. Because, you know, when that movie guy, that Robert Townsend, you know, Robert Townsend became famous years ago. He made a little cheap movie called Hollywood Shuffle. Well, by the time Robert Townsend showed up in Miami, he had developed a Miami hustle. Because he showed up in town and said, oh, you know, I'm going to make a movie. I'm going to help all these poor kids learn how to become movie makers. Like, that's the most important thing in most kids' life, is to learn how to be a movie maker. But he was going to do that. And he charged the CRA $200,000 to do this. Right? To make this, to run this little training program. And of course, the movie, which was largely financed by public money from both the Southeast Overtown Park West CRA and the Omni CRA, and $150,000 that they got from the teachers union, right? They got all this money, and Townsend said, well, you know, I'd love to be able to use Florida people, but you ain't got the caliber of people I need to make my movie. I got to bring people in from California. So what he did is, he bought a bunch of his friends over here from California and parked their ass in the Grand Hotel over there and ran up a $53,000 hotel bill. And because those folks needed to get around town to see the sights, they ended up spending $15,000 on rental car bills. And all that money was your tax money that these people spent. And when they left out of town, the coordinator, who came from California, wrote Robert Townsend a letter and said, hey, you owe $200,000 to all them people back there. He almost put a company out of business. The company that gave him all the camera gear. But that didn't matter to Clarence Woods. That didn't matter to Michelle Spence Jones. You know, now she talked this thing, oh, I'm really concerned. She wasn't concerned about shit. And Clarence Woods wasn't concerned about shit. Except trying to keep documents away from me and trying to rope-a-dope me when I was trying to get the information to do my series. So since March, I've been trying to get the final audited report from them crazy people over at the University of Miami. Because you see, the CRAs, both the Southeast Overtown Park West CRA and the Omni CRA, operated by Peter Botwig, right? They both had given $200,000 to this project, but they couldn't give the money direct. They had to launder the money through the University of Miami Film School. And there were contracts that these people put together and made the University of Miami sign, saying that they were responsible for the money and they were responsible for providing an audit of the money. So I wanted that audit. And I still want that audit. And every time I ask these guys for the audit, oh man, I ain't got it. You know, I forgot to call them about that. I'll call them next week. So in July, I started writing emails to Clarence. And I'm going to read you a couple of these emails. So the first one is from July. Clarence wrote me, he says, we're in the process of finalizing a closeout report with the University of Miami. We appreciate your patience and we will be forwarding that report to you shortly. Again, thanks for your patience. In August, Clarence wrote, the final reconciliation for the film training program should be complete by week's end. We hope to get the final report to you by Monday of next week. Thanks. In September, after I didn't get that report and called him a liar, Clarence wrote me, he says, obviously I wouldn't lie to you. Well, obviously he did lie to me. And he said, remember, we're trying to get the information by way of the UM, who's getting the information from the production company. Well, Robert Townsend had no reason to give anybody anything. He screwed the pooch from the day he walked in the door to the day he left the door. But he said, we're about done with the audit. I would ask for a little patience. I don't want to send you an incomplete document. He didn't want to send me any document. And then on October 9th, which is just 2 days ago, I get this little jewel from Clarence Woods. Al, we met with representatives from the University of Miami last week to state our position regarding the management of the film training program. We agreed on terms for a closeout of the project. The final report shall be forthcoming. Thanks. We agreed on terms for the closeout? There are no agreement to terms. You had a written signed contract. And the contract said, give us a report of the audit of how you spent the money. But you see, Clarence wouldn't have done this if I hadn't been on his ass for the last 4 months. Dad had never done this. So I think that Clarence needs to be fired. Not only for this, but for that bullshit he pulled over there with lots 45 and 55 and 56. For all you folks who were at that meeting and heard him, rise up trying to defend himself over that bullshit that he did and the way he handled that RFP. Clarence is lame and just been shucking and jiving. So here's what I'm asking all you folks, especially folks in Overtown. If you know anything that Clarence Woods has done that's skanky, let me know about it. Because I think it's time that I focus a lot more attention on Mr. Clarence Woods and the bullshit that he pulled off at the CRA. Because it's time to get an accounting for all that money that these people have given away, thrown away, pissed away, and just come out the door and just flung it out the door. So will you help me with that, please? Hey, and for everybody else, keep reading the report. I'm doing my best to get these stories out to you. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell the neighborhood dog if you can. Go read the Crespogram report. Come check out these little videos. Today, I've got another video just under this one, again about the CRA and Mr. Woods and Mr. Botwig and Commissioner Sarnoff. So watch this one and then just click right on down on the next one and watch that one. Thank you and see you later.